Hi, friends. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Katie, and welcome to Okay, but did you know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today we're recapping and chatting about Once Upon a Time, episode 105, That Still Small Voice. It aired on November 27th, 2011. It was written by Jane Espenson and directed by Paul Edwards. And fun fact about Jane Espenson, because like I said, I've done these analyses of the writers and directors to find some commonalities. She writes a lot of my favorite episodes, but I have some markers for Jane Espenson written episodes that usually it'll have one, the other, or both. It's either going to be very bizarre but funny humor and puns,
Okay.
or Regina Mills trauma. To be fair, this one kind of has both.
I mean, yeah, what? Okay. That made complete sense.
I know, but yeah, when there's an episode that is like very heavy Regina backstory, but like traumatic backstory, it's usually written by Jane Espenson.
Ah, understood.
Not so much backstory this time, but there's some traumatic events going on with Regina, so
Yeah, Regina doesn't. I understand somewhat, not
mm,
entirely, because no
yeah.
backstory yet, why Regina is Regina.
Mm-hmm. We will get there. We will get there soon.
Oh, good. I don't have to wait 3 years.
No, not 3 years. Maybe a few more weeks. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of synopsis before we go into the rest of our notes. In the Enchanted Forest, a man named Jiminy travels around the Enchanted Forest with his parents as they perform puppet shows for money and maybe a little bit of thievery. Upset with their uncaring ways, Jiminy asks the Dark One to help to free him from his parents and who he is. But when his parents trick him and use the potion against two innocent people, he wishes more than anything to undo the past. The Blue Fairy hears his wish, but cannot return their lives. However, she gives him magic to help the son they left behind by turning him into Jiminy Cricket, giving him all the time he needs to help his new friend, Geppetto. And in Storybrooke, now that Emma is an official member of the town's sheriff department, things are changing explosively when an old mining tunnel suddenly collapses. Determined to find the truth about the curse, Henry tries to enlist Archie's help. However, Archie's conscience is not as clear as it used to be when he's forced to alter his treatment of Henry at Regina's behest. While looking for him, Archie gets stuck in the old mine with him, with no way out. Regina and Emma fight over the best way to save their son, and ultimately they're able to get Henry and Archie out by working together, at least temporarily. Henry is safe, and Archie is more determined than ever to help him consolidate his fairy tale belief by always doing his best, in hopefully the least damaging way. So, how are we feeling about this one?
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It had its moments.
Yeah.
Um, I've got lots of notes.
Okay.
Some are dumb, some are some make sense.
There's no such
There
thing as a dumb comment. I can find one that like literally I literally just wrote the evil queen music in all caps. Like there's no such thing as a
Yeah.
dumb comment.
So, I love the whole line of they get to do whatever they want talking about the crickets, but the cricket's in a literal cage.
Yeah.
I don't think he's doing whatever he wants. He's in a cage.
Yeah, that's fair. But I think they eventually they do sleight of hand to the cricket I guess escapes
I'm assuming. I
in
hope
theory.
so.
In theory. Yeah, I want to hope that's what happened to the cricket.
And then of course I'm immediately asking myself, what is Regina hiding? Cuz I'm still saying she knows.
Okay, but here's the thing with Regina with that scene. Until this watch, because I'm watching this now through a finer tooth comb than I ever have, but also I realize this is the first time that I've watched this arc this way. Like this is the way that it should be consumed, which is one week at a time. But since I binged those first 17 episodes, I've never watched this with such a span of time between each episode. So I'm watching them a little closer than I used to. And I used to always be like, wait, how did Henry get there if he was at therapy and now he's there? And then this time I saw Archie just brings him, obviously.
Yeah.
But like this is a case of like Regina's thing of now he thinks I'm hiding something like while covering up like a town safety hazard. She's not wrong. Like she's doing the correct thing, and he's like, "What are you hiding down there?" Like this is literally a safety hazard.
Yeah. Uh I typed something in all caps like I always do.
Mm-hmm.
She really said burning sensations? I was like, wait a minute, did I hear that right?
I had to think about what you were saying, what scene that was, and then I went, "Oh yeah, that's the scene when they're trying to guilt trip him into staying."
Yeah, and she just brings out the burning sensations. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't think you should tell your son that.
yeah. I wrote down, "Are Jiminy's parents Jewish?" Like the guilt trip, just until we die situation. Like that's
Oh no!
literally like that's the joke of like anytime like that's the Jewish. I love that I'm bringing the Jewish mentality into this. But this is also like the humor that I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that like no like the Jewish guilt trip situation of like like it's like, oh, just stab a knife through my heart, why don't you? Anytime any like child does something that a parent doesn't like the
Yeah.
stereotypes on the nanny are sadly true.
I'm learning so much because I do not live in a very Jewish area.
Well, I'm happy to bring that perspective.
I love it.
On the topic of Jiminy's parents, so his parents, their names are actually Martin and Myrna. We don't actually hear their names. However, apparently, if you look really, really closely on the puppet show, like facade thing that
Mm-hmm.
they have, it does say Martin and Myrna's Marvelous Marionettes. So
Ooh,
that's where we get their
I
names.
like the alliteration.
Yeah, nice alliteration. So both of his parents are played by two phenomenal character actors that have massive, massive IMDb's.
Oh,
Yeah. Myrna is played by Carolyn Hennessy. She has, when I looked, about 194 actor credits. That's just actor credits.
wow.
She's done other things. Just wait till I tell you what she's been in, because she's done a lot of voiceover work for TV, film, video games.
Video games?
She does a lot of Lego Star Wars stuff. I think she's Leia
Wow.
in a lot of the Lego Star Wars stuff. She's got a bunch of like sitcoms, movies, dramas, on top of 194 individual credits. One of them is 590 episodes of the ABC soap opera General Hospital.
No.
She's done 194 individual things, and yet she's still been on almost 600 episodes of a soap opera.
That's a lot. That's a lot, a lot.
This woman's amazing.
Also, to be able to do something like soap opera, but then all these other things too, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Well, to be fair, Once Upon a Time is technically a soap opera. If you look at the way that it's categorized on Disney Plus, they categorize it as a soap opera.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You have me watching a soap opera?
Technically, a fairy tale soap opera.
Am I gonna call it my stories one day?
I think so. I think that's what I'm gonna
Gotta
start
watch
calling
my
it.
stories.
Watching my
Our
stories.
stories.
Our stories.
I have reached peak Southern grandma.
I love it. And the actor who plays Martin, his name is Harry, I think, Groner. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Groners just sounds funny.
It sounds correct. It's spelled Groener. I don't know how else to pronounce
Groner
that.
sounds right. I think that would be pronounced that way.
Yeah. So he's also I didn't clock the exact number. He also had a very large IMDb list. He's done a lot of sitcoms recently, such as Young Sheldon and How I Met Your Mother.
Wait, he's in Young Sheldon?
Apparently.
We watch Young Sheldon.
Oh.
It's one of our family shows.
Oh, I love that. I don't think I've gotten to his episodes yet. He's only in a few.
My husband had me watch the entirety of Big Bang Theory.
Mm.
Cried like a baby at the end of that. So, of course, then we jumped onto Young Sheldon, but my daughter can watch Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Too, and we've become obsessed, but we know certain information from Big Bang Theory that they are very much dragging out.
Yeah.
In Young Sheldon, and I'm not going to survive the next season. I think it's going to break my heart.
Oh. He was recently apparently in Oppenheimer. I haven't seen it. Couldn't tell you what character he plays.
The only reason I'd end up seeing it is for my husband, so I don't know.
Just showing this guy's got range.
I love it.
The other one that I think is probably the most notable, he was also Mayor Richard Wilkins in 14 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Two phenomenal character actors playing two phenomenal, like, just kind of drop in.
Oh, they were
like,
phenomenal.
Yeah, they really were. And apparently, actually, their costumes were based off of, they were meant to resemble Honest John and Gideon, like the two, like the villains in Pinocchio that draw him out to show business, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So
it was really, like, I really loved them. They're really good at making you hate them.
Oh, yeah.
Is the point of the characters. So I really appreciated that because it's not an easy job to play the villain.
No, it's not. And like they took to it so well, and you just have like all that comedy, like at the very end, like when they start going in up with the elf tonic towards the end. I know we're jumping like all around the episode, but the very end with the elf tonic, you know, they're like, it's like we just went through like the last town, like it's like plague, the plague, well, a plague certainly.
Like the banter was like they played off of each other so well.
It's like Like, surely it's like smart folks like you have this elf tonic. Oh no, you're going to die. There is no extra. Like,
Him in the back just, like, not even trying and just like, saying what he needed to say, I
yeah.
I was cackling. I was like, I would be like that. "Nope, I'm not a part of this, but I have to be."
Oh no, you're going to die. You need elf tonic. Just like so quietly and doing his thing. And I'm like, I wrote down Jane Espenson has no right being this funny.
Right? Although, I will say, I don't his character as a therapist probably should not have said some of the things that he said.
Oh, absolutely.
He starts laying into Henry, and I'm like, "No, bad therapist, no."
Bad therapist who then starts day drinking.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Because all of that is during the day. Like when we see Emma again later, when
Oh,
after
yeah, because
Henry
then
comes by,
yeah.
then like we see him with a glass of whiskey, but that's during the day because it looks dark because he's got his blinds drawn, but then Regina calls and from her office you can see it's like daylight. Also, Emma's thing of I dropped him at your office an hour ago. It's not there's the town is not big enough for Emma to go from the office to Archie's, and for Henry that's not enough time. I'm sorry, that's too much
It's a
time.
lot too much time, right? I
That's
was like,
too
that
much
would
time.
not have happened so quick, like,
That
slowly.
would have happened. Yeah, that would have happened far quicker than an hour. But
Yeah.
we digress.
Emma laying into him,
Oh yeah, perfect. Like that. Yes,
perfect.
that is the way to do it.
That is mama bear energy.
Mm-hmm. Emma's learning. Yeah, I just wrote down. So Archie was day drinking.
I would day drink with Jiminy Cricket.
I mean, fair. Like if you just did like completely like just like compromised your conscience multiple times, but this time actively hurting a child. I also probably would do that.
You want to know what really got me excited in this episode?
Tell me.
The spinning wheel.
The spinning wheel, yeah.
I got so excited to finally see the spinning wheel.
We saw Rumpelstiltskin's spinning wheel, and that was actually the title card, which actually I did not clock until I was looking at the fun facts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, the timing of that scene, given what I know, because like it puts us in Rumpelstiltskin's library, right?
Yes.
We technically see the flashback where he creates that library, I think in season 3 or 2, something along those lines.
Creates his library?
Like he builds it basically in his castle.
Oh.
And this is decades before that. It's like they wanted to give a reason for the library being there, but forgot that they'd already used it as a set, is basically how that goes.
Oh.
But right now, like, honestly, we see the library a lot. So, like, honestly, I consider the scene where we see the library being, it's the end of season 2. We see the scene where the library is being created. I consider that the plot hole, not everything else.
Just so funny because I've already predicted that he's going to be the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, but he builds a library.
Yeah, but building the library as it stands now has nothing to do with Belle.
What? How?
Because I'm telling you, the scene where he creates the library that we see happens decades after this scene, because Geppetto's a kid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
This timeline is confusing.
Aren't you glad you have me to help you figure it out?
Yeah.
I've done the thinking.
You can't leave. You have to help me finish this, or I'm never going to understand what the hell's going on.
Yeah. But yeah, since Geppetto's a kid, this happens decades before the main timeline, really. Because this is the first flashback that we see that does not include either Snow or Charming.
What?
Like, yeah, like
I had to think about it for a second. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
I mean, technically, I guess neither of them were in the second episode flashbacks, technically.
Yeah.
But, like, it's about the curse, so, like, this is the first one that has nothing to do with either of them, I should say.
Okay.
However, there's a whole lot of them in the main storyline in Storybrooke, so.
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'm just waiting for him to leave Catherine.
They're just such cuties.
They're adorable together, and it's like it's so interesting watching the entire dynamic because you've got Catherine who keeps butting in.
Yeah.
I know that's the wife, but she's butting in.
I know, but like she doesn't know any better. Like in her mind, he's her husband.
Yeah, well, she's wrong, and it's just so interesting watching their chemistry, like between Charming and Snow. They're so sweet together, so wonderful together. Catherine comes in, it's like burnt toast.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the point. Well, because also, to be fair, so right now, so I'm going to use David because Storybrooke timeline, that makes life easy right now. David has no memory, like, of anything because he was kind of in an in-between space of life and death.
Limbo.
Like, so he has no memories of anything. He has no curse memory. He has no, like, no current memory. He's got nothing.
Oh, wow.
he's just kind of a blank slate kind of situation, which we see that kind of come up a couple of times over the course of the show. It is possible for that to happen. If someone doesn't have certain memories, it's just like a blockage. So I realize I'm dancing around something with the way that I'm speaking right now. At the very end, we'll just jump right to the very last shot before the end of the episode.
Yes.
What do we see?
That's actually my next note.
Go ahead.
I wrote in all caps because earlier in the show, you see her put something in her pocket, and because Henry found something.
Yep.
And I just put in all caps, why does that look like a piece of a glass coffin?
Mm-hmm.
And we end on that. I wrote that note, and there's like quite a few notes after that. And I'm literally like in my seat, like cheering myself on, like I fucking called it. That is the glass coffin. I was right. Regina! And I'm right. She knows about the curse.
Here's the thing. That scene confirms the curse is real. However, it does not confirm Regina knows what it is.
But why is she hiding it?
It doesn't confirm because it's something of interest. It doesn't it does not yet confirm that she knows. It does confirm, however, that the curse is real. So
I don't know, because hiding it makes me feel like she's hiding something. I even wrote that. Regina, what are you hiding?
There is a bigger reveal coming that shows whether she knows what's going on or not.
She knows.
I am, again, neither confirming nor denying.
That is my theory. I also wrote kids are dumb.
Kids are dumb. Yes. That's the entire thesis statement of this episode. But I realized I was dancing around the curse memory situation. I'm like, you know what? Since this episode confirms the curse is real, let's just go there first. So the case of someone kind of being in a blank slate situation of having neither real memories nor curse memories does come up a couple of times in certain situations. Basically, if someone wasn't given a curse persona when the curse was cast, then they kind of become a blank slate should they lose their original memories.
Oh.
So that'll come up a couple of times. I think at least at one more time off the top of my head, if not twice. Okay. But that's David. That's David's situation right now. Since he was kind of in that life or like in between life and death situation, then that's he wasn't really conscious to absorb any curse memories, even though he does have one, or he has a curse persona.
He's just kind of like, why am I here? Where am I?
Yeah, exactly. Like his brain, like, last I was here, last I was awake, I don't know.
Just completely blank.
Pretty much. But yes, kids are dumb. This is the one episode where I normally say I can't get mad at a child character for acting like a child. This is one where I can actively say, child, what the hell are you doing?
As the mother of this duo, yes, you can.
Like, this is one case where I'm going to be like, please stop trying to go into an abandoned mine.
Like, why? Where is... He's about the same age as my own kid, so I was like, if my kid ever, I'd be Regina.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is one time where it's like, she's not being that overprotective. She's literally trying to keep him out of a safety hazard.
Good job, kid.
Good job. I did, out of curiosity, because this is the fun facts that I decided to look up, I was like, is mining a thing in Maine? Because I know that it's a reference to, like, the dwarves mining. That's clearly what it's a reference to. But I was like, is this a thing in Maine? And it is.
Oh, I actually got really curious and started trying to figure out how far up the Appalachian Mountains went.
Oh, okay. So, because I've figured out a rough pinpoint of, based off of Emma's comment of it's 4 hours from Boston, and given the vague geography, I put Storybrooke in like a coastal town about I don't know, yay miles north of Portland. It's not so far up in Maine, but like not like as south as you can go. Mm-hmm. So I did look it up. According to Maine's Geological Survey website on maine.gov, mining and quarrying has been an integral part of Maine's economy since the 1800s.
Wow.
So the fact of old mining tunnels is a thing that could conceivably be a thing. And in the area of Maine that I've located Storybrooke, most likely they would have been mining granite.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of like metals and minerals are their main. Is Maine's main mining economy.
There you go. Speaking of like parents, like we just were a second ago, though, I did write they get the gold medal for the worst parents ever. Jiminy's parents. I was like,
Oh,
these are the
absolutely.
worst parents in existence.
They're terrible. They're like, it's like you're free to do as we say, to be who you are, and you are who you are, Jiminy. Like that's not a lesson to teach your child.
Nope. Good job. Well, I mean, bad job, but
Bad job,
good job
parents.
at being. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I'm saying.
Good job, writers. Bad job, parents.
Yes, there. That's what I meant. So, is this really the episode where you get a lot of the people that are like falling in love with the idea of Regina and Emma? Because I had a moment.
I think so. Okay, well, I definitely wrote this down in my notes, and I will find it because I had a great way of phrasing this. Of course, a Jane Espenson episode would be a big pillar for the OG Swan Queen fans.
I keep forgetting it's Swan Queen. I
Mm-hmm.
really had a moment where Regina and Emma get in each other's faces, and I'm like, now kiss.
No, exactly. That's the meme right there. Because here, this is my question, and I will never get an answer to this, but I did write this down. I need to know if that closeness of being so close was Lana or Regina. Did the script or the director say Regina steps into Emma's personal space in this moment? Or did Lana just do that because she has a history on the show of doing unscripted physical actions?
I need to know because then I also wrote, wait, no, bad timing.
But like this episode is a pillar for a lot of those Swan Queen fans because there's a lot of that closeness in that scene. I also wrote down, why does this angle of Graham, Regina, and Emma looking over the mine shaft look like a throuple for some reason?
I'm okay with this throuple.
Yeah. It would solve so many problems.
The bisexual in me goes, yes, this throuple. This sounds great.
It would solve so many problems.
So many problems.
But yeah, that's this. It's a big moment for a lot of Swan Queen fans. Is that scene really of Regina just walking right up to him, just going, like, "Bring him to me," like.
And I'm just like, oh my god, they're very close. And so much energy and
Yep.
tension in this moment. And
Yep.
yep. I don't know how to word that. I just
I
had that
know.
moment of just like you do with the dolls, just a
I
little
know.
bit closer.
A little bit closer.
So I definitely am Swan Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a fan.
I get where it comes from. Like I always say, like with the Swan Queen fandom, like they are the trope to begin with. Like that's the trope you get of the enemies to lovers situation, especially with the sharing of a child. It definitely muddies some waters there.
They'd be great moms together. Just saying.
They do become great co-parents as the show goes on. There's a little bit of tension and there's a little bit of growing pains and figuring out how things work. That makes me angry when
Mm-hmm.
the way they handle things. But at this point, there's not enough of them to go off of. As the show goes on, I see it and I'm like, again, I see where it comes from. And I've apparently had this opinion for like 9 years. I found out an old post I put on Tumblr about this, that as they are in canon, they would be the most unhealthy ship whatsoever.
Oh god, yes.
Like, there is no, in canon, that would never work. In fan fiction, people find ways of like finding like the best versions of the characters to fit together, and A plus.
I love that you went back to Tumblr.
Yeah, every once in a while I go through my old blogs, like at least to mine for
Yeah.
ideas sometimes for the script. Like, did I come up with anything?
I'm still logged into mine on my phone and I just never use it anymore. But
Yeah,
it's there.
it's there. I read my old fan fiction sometimes. So I realize we've been talking a lot at this episode about Archie, Jiminy Cricket. I have not gone over my. Let's go through his IMDb page real quick.
Oh, his. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
We haven't like I did the other actors because also I was gonna say guest actor, but technically Raphael Sabarge was a series regular for season 1.
Oh.
So I realized I went through the others first. I haven't gone through him yet, and this is his episode. So Raphael Sabarge is the actor who plays Jiminy Cricket / Dr. Archie Hopper. So like I said, he was a series regular for season 1, despite how like sporadic we see him. He's actually, they do that a lot. They make people series regulars, but they don't really utilize them like series regulars should be utilized. But
Yeah.
that's a rant for another day. He is, again, a phenomenal character actor. He's got a very large IMDb, just like the two actors who play his parents. He's done guest spots on shows like Law & Order SVU. He was the voice of Professor Zay in the Hidden Library episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Yeah. He did a lot of shows like Charmed and other, guest spots and shows he was in like one episode.
What season?
I don't remember. I'll look it up later.
Crap. So almost to the extent that you are with Once Upon a Time is Meet with Charmed.
Okay. So he's in at least one
I
episode.
watched that religiously growing up, and I've rewatched as an adult.
Gotcha.
Love it.
Yeah, I think it was like one episode, but I'll look it up. But he did a lot of shows like that in like the early 2000s, mid 2000s. My favorite thing from his IMDb, because it's just bizarre how the universe works in these mysterious ways. He was in the 2-part backdoor pilot for Private Practice that they did on Grey's Anatomy at the end of season 3.
Really?
When they did the backdoor pilot for it with Addison going down to
Yeah.
California.
Wait, I think I've watched that.
You probably have if you've seen that season. So the main case that 2-parter episode that Addison is doing, one of the other people in that case situation is David Anders, who plays Dr. Whale.
Yeah, I do remember this because I gave up on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, it's fair. There's a lot of it. But there's more. But wait, there's more. The actor who plays Naomi, the character that eventually gets recast as Audra McDonald in Private Practice, is Marin Dungy, who will eventually show up on Once Upon a Time in season 4.
That is so cool.
And then one more thing about this.
Oh my goodness!
It's like these people must all have the same agents. I swear.
They have to.
In the actual first episode of Private Practice, like Private Practice season 1, episode 1, Rebecca Mader, who will show up in season 3 of Once Upon a Time, was in that pilot. So, like I said before, this is the episode where like my mentality of let the child character act like a child is not so much.
It's valid.
It's not a thing in this episode when the child is just actively hurting himself by going into an abandoned mine. I have many notes that are just child stop in all caps. Kid, stay in the fucking car.
Also, the very child thing to take chocolate bars.
Oh yeah,
mine with you.
The chocolate bars. Fun fact: those are Apollo bars, which is a reference to Lost. Apparently, that's also seen on Lost.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. We just have "Kid, come back" in all caps. Then his line of "Because you think I'm crazy, kid, you're stuck in a mine." I just kept writing these notes.
Just yelling at Henry the entire time.
Yeah. This can't be all there is. Same, buddy. Same. The physics of this rescue concerns me.
I'm not mad about Emma in a harness, but yes. Like the umbrella?
It's a very good one, and I get, again, this is visually dramatic, but like the physics of using an umbrella to hook into a carabiner, I'm sorry, no, that's not.
It would not have held his weight.
No, nor would it would have slipped right off. So, yeah. Not a big fan. At one point I did write down kaboom. Apparently just when everything blew up. The fire truck was a restored vintage fire truck. It was fully operational, and it was operated by real firefighters during filming.
That is really cool, but I have one question.
What is your question?
Do tow trucks need to be revved to work? Because
I don't know.
They told Ruby to hit it, and she started revving the engine, and that's what apparently made the tow truck work. And I'm like, do the writers know how a tow truck works?
No, I don't think they do.
So that was just another tidbit I just remembered that I'm like, that didn't make any sense.
Honestly, no, it doesn't make any sense. And honestly, the next thing I was going to say, and I'm shocked you didn't comment on this, was I know Katie's going to comment on Ruby lounging in the background with Pongo.
I was going to. Because 1, Pongo, but 2, Ruby.
Yeah, it's just
Ruby.
I wrote down towards the end, because at the very end we see her in the background hanging out with Billy. I was like, Ruby is basically just a hood ornament this entire episode.
Yup. I'm okay with it. As long as she's okay with it, I'm okay with it. Because there's
she's fine.
Consent in this situation. Consent
is important.
Very important.
Before we get into stats, I do want to say I also wrote down she loves that boy, damn it. And this is a case. This is a little bit of a shift. I feel like for Regina, we see a greater shift in her characterization after episode 7. But I wrote down, I challenge anyone to watch this episode and still tell me that Regina does not love that boy.
She loves Henry. She absolutely loves Henry. She definitely does. And I think that's going to be like a big, obviously it's me. These are my theories, which I hope you're having so much fun listening to my theories, knowing absolutely nothing.
I love hearing your theories and like being in my head. I'm like, that's fascinating. And knowing exactly when you'll get the answers.
I think she's not going to stay evil.
I mean, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. I think the curse is real. I think Henry has softened her heart and that it changes everything.
Absolutely does.
So I don't know how to feel about picking up on so much of it so early, but then I remember I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
Steven made me watch like the newest Transformers movie
Mm-hmm.
recently, and I picked it apart so bad.
Yeah. Well,
So
Regina as a villainous character, like a relationship with her and Henry, it can't be satisfying if she stays evil, right? Like that's not necessarily like
yeah,
a picking up on things too early situation. That's more of a that is clearly the trajectory that this is meant to go because she can only be someone who you love to hate for so long before it gets jarring, right?
and then it's like really bad for the kid on top of that. Trying to like keep with your evil queen plans while you've literally taken on an entire child
Yeah.
that you then fall in love with, because I can definitely tell you how much you fall in love with your kids.
Mhm.
There is no way that she can't just stay super evil.
I just remembered the episode where we see her adopt him, and it's like it's such an adorable episode. It's in season
Am I
3.
gonna cry?
It makes me cry every time. So
I'm a
possibly
mom. It's gonna make me cry.
it's gonna make you
Oh
cry.
no.
It's one of my favorite episodes of season 3.
I'm gonna be texting you going, Lauren, why? Why did you make me do this?
When you look at the episode titles for season 3, I think you'll be able to figure out which one it is.
All right, so this might surprise you.
Okay,
This
give me.
is my lowest rated episode yet.
It's not that shocking. This one's fairly episodic and almost kind of feels like it was like dropped in, so I'm not surprised.
I gave character 8,
Mhm.
and I gave both personal and plot 7.
Okay, that's fair.
So 22 is the lowest I've gone.
Mhm.
I don't mind Jiminy's character.
Yeah.
It was just like you said, episodic. It was what it was.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment's still gonna be the fact that I was like, I want to make them kiss. Like that should
Mhm.
not be what I was thinking of watching this, but that's exactly what went into my mind.
No, exactly. Yeah, this one is fairly episodic. It is a little dropped in. It gives us a little bit of context, more so for the Storybook arc, if anything. It gives us more stuff to go on there. And this is where like they're figuring out their storytelling style of like we'll do like a one episode thing here about this fairy tale and move on. Because I will promise you we don't see Jiminy Cricket backstory ever again. Like he pops up in the Enchanted Forest, but we don't see like his parents ever again. So
Like
it
this is
is
all we get.
this is all we're getting. It's very episodic, and we'll see more of those as the show goes on. Like stuff that's like, here is a fairy tale. We never discuss this fairy tale ever again, but it's there.
Which makes sense with the format of the show.
Yeah, they're trying to kind of shove as many in as possible, especially with these first 7 episodes, because the 7th episode was all they were ordered for at the beginning, so they weren't really
Yeah.
sure how much more they were getting.
Yeah, you said that was like a mid-season.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a break between episode 7 and episode 8 because they were ordered for the first 7 episodes, and then after those were done, then they got ordered for the back whatever number that is, 8 through 22.
A lot.
A lot of them. So like they're trying to like just get their storytelling style and their characters out there to make sure that the network would renew them for the rest of the season.
Okay.
So it makes sense. This one is like solid for me because I really enjoy it. There is some Rumpelstiltskin, but like not a whole lot. Which that again, the Rumpelstiltskin aspect of it, his necessity in the story is a little weird.
It's magic.
He's magic. I gave this one 8s across the board. It's 8 for plot, character, personal. Like it's solidly enjoyable. I've watched it more times than I can count. Again, the Rumpelstiltskin thing, that one I can only really attest to. Like I think my headcanon for this, because I was trying to figure out. I'm like, this is still very unclear as to why he's doing this. And I said it's why he's helping Jiminy because it's almost as if he did it for nothing. Like he does get the puppets at the end, but it's almost like he did it for nothing. So I wrote down, it can be implied that he knew this would put Jiminy on his destined path because we know that he can see the future. But beyond ensuring the integrity of the timeline, I got nothing.
But I was really happy for once to actually have Rumple there because we finally got to see the damn spinning wheel.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it. All this Rumple and no spinning wheel, and it didn't make any sense to me. So I'm really happy that at least within this episodic episode that they put it in. It made me happy. And, that
We'll see
and
more.
wanting to, I mean, I don't think it was terrible. Like, the only higher I've gone than that was 23. So it's actually not really that low, in my opinion. It's just not, oh my God, I love it. It's not episode 2.
That's totally fair. Yeah, this one, the spinning wheel, we'll see more of that because we'll see Rumple spinning. I mean, he's Rumpelstiltskin, so obviously spinning Strondengold is what he does. So we'll see more of that. We will see the Miller's Daughter in an episode aptly named The Miller's Daughter in season 2. I can't talk about her yet. I want to so
Aw.
badly. I want to so badly, but I
We're
can't.
getting there.
You will meet her in season 1,
Okay.
but the Miller's Daughter episode is mid late season 2.
So next year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. So yeah, so this one's middle of the road for me, more or less. But so on the topic of Rumpelstiltskin, real quick, Mr. Gold's pawn shop. So the puppets, the deal that Rumpel makes with Jiminy is,
He gets
just
the puppets.
he gets the puppets for whatever purpose he wants puppets. We see those puppets again pop up at the very end in Mr. Gold's pawn shop, which actually, if we looked closely in the last episode, The Price of Gold, when Ashley walks into the pawn shop, they're in there. She walks right past them.
It makes me want to go back and look.
Yeah, so like they drop these little things, but in that frame, also with the puppets, we can see two things very clearly. One's in the shadows, but you can see the outline of it. We see a lamp that looks to be like the genie lamp from Aladdin.
Ooh.
And right behind the puppets, which we will see the significance of this in the next episode, we see like a lawn-sized windmill.
Wait, windmill?
There's a windmill. Like you could see like the shadow of like the panes of the windmill.
Oh my god, why am I not connecting windmill? What is
There
that
was
for?
I can promise you it has significance in the next episode.
I think I know, but the words aren't coming to me, so I'm just
You probably don't.
It
doesn't have a whole lot to do with it with a specific fairy tale. I don't think, at least.
Okay. See, that's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, does this have which fairy tale are we talking here?
No, it doesn't have anything to do specifically with a fairy tale, but it has something to do with a very important character.
Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Bob's Burgers Season 1, Episode 8, Spaghetti Western and Meatballs, and Season 1, Episode 9, Burger War. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. And follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Lauren and Katie and edited by Lauren.